Vegas is hosting the biggest fight since the world came to a COVID screeching halt. For only the second time ever, the MGM Grand is home to a 4-belt world championship bout. The prized possessions are now center stage as the two champions are about to meet face-to-face for the news conference. On the far right is Teofimo Lopez's IBF belt. He earned it with one of the most impressive displays of power we've seen. Next to it is the WBA belt, a lightweight title won by Vasily Lomachenko, making him the fastest in history to be a 3-division world champ. His famed green belt of the WBC comes with elevated franchise status after winning it in 2019. And then Loma's WBO, the 135-pound strap he took with a Viper-striking liver shot. Those 4 most desired treasures are up for grabs, and in moments, the 2 men who own them meet up to discuss it all.
Teofimo Lopez, whether you hate him, whether you like him, you're still gonna watch him.
Why a lot of people talking about Teofimo Lopez?
He has never faced a fighter like me. Fast, quick, strong. I can hit too.
What a knockdown by Lopez!
Who is this guy? He never fought any real top fighters. Hey, Teofimo, what Teofimo?
LOMA has been worthy of all the hype.
Everybody's gonna know once we beat Lomachenko's over.
We got a monster, baby. I told everybody. He has done it.
Loma is on his way out. I'm on my way in. I might as well finish it the right way. Finish it with a bang.
So glad you were with us as we kick off Lomachenko-Lopez Fight Week inside the bubble in Las Vegas, our home for Top Rank Boxing on ESPN since the month of June, right about when this fight was agreed to. And ever since then, we've been waiting for this moment. Now, this is a pay-per-view worthy fight that you will be able to enjoy on ESPN. And as with all great events, we have continuous coverage of this fight for the undisputed lightweight world title. On Friday at 5 Eastern, we will air the weigh-in live on ESPN2, followed immediately by a live episode of Max on Boxing. And then Saturday at 7:30 Eastern, we begin our Fight Night coverage on ESPN with 4 undercard fights. Then our live main card begins at 10 Eastern with knockout artist Edgar Berlanga going for his 15th consecutive first-round knockout. I'm Bernardo Osuna, and I'm very proud to be joined by the best analysts in the business, former world champions Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward, and stellar essayist Mark Kriegel. Now, guys, we've been talking about this fight at our dinners, at our production meetings. We've been texting one another. So, Tim, get us started. What are your highlights as we move forward and we're here?
Well, to me, this fight represents more than just them belts you see behind us. It's about legacy for both these fighters tonight.
Well, for me, I just got to shout both the fighters out for even getting this fight done and being here this weekend. I mean, listen, it's not easy pointing out the other baddest man in your division or the other champion in your division and actually signing to fight them. They both done that. We're a few days away from both of these fighters risking it all to see who the best really is. And for that, I have a great deal of respect for.
2 possibilities, each historic. Either the 4-belt lightweight champion isn't even really a lightweight, but is without question the greatest fighter of the post-Mayweather world, or we see the birth of a new superstar.
In only their 16th professional fight, Teofimo Lopez looks to get into rarefied air. For Vasily Lomachenko, it's the dream of holding all 4 belts. And all those belts are right there with Joe Tessitore, who will soon have the fighters right next to him.
Thank you, Bernardo. These are the belts. It is all on the line come Saturday night. And obviously, this does not take the traditional form of what would be a mega event, big fight week final news conference. But then again, nothing has taken traditional form in the sport this year or in the world. But we move on. We fight on, and 2 of the best do that this week here in Vegas. Typically, we would be at the big arena. There would be thousands of fans, and the atmosphere would be rowdy. Today, we get the gift of having a good, solid conversation on the fight that within boxing circles has the most buzz of any fight we have had in recent years. Best versus best. So in the next half hour, we will do that with both Lomachenko and Lopez. We do have questions from media all over the world that we will have throughout the course of this conversation. I look around, perhaps 20 people in the audience between the promoters, the staffs, the camps, everybody here COVID tested inside the bubble. Let's waste no time. Let's bring out the champs. And first, one of the most dynamic young fighters in the sport today. The guy who just 2 years ago was the prospect of the year. And here we are 2 years later, and now he's the undefeated IBF lightweight champion of the world. Please welcome Teofimo Lopez.
Put him in front of me, and I'll beat him.
I'm top bill, something different from the gates. Built ram tough, you can see it in the greats. I'm the one they watch, you can see it in their face. If their hands get to moving, it's the time and the place. Those repercussions got you second guessing. Sin City flashing gliders if they need a lesson. I swear they saw Matilda, my professional advice is you better play nice if you think you're stressing. The champ is here!
I have arrived.
The champ is here!
Holla.
The champ is here! The
I'ma
champ is
kill him
here!
with the first verse, and I'ma bury him with the second.
The champ is here!
Watch.
The champ is here!
Thinking that you better than me?
The champ is here!
Nah, boys, plain to see.
The champ is
Hate
here!
a song when I step in the room.
The champ is
Jaws
here!
drop when they see what I do. I'm addicted to success. There's no rehab. Try to cure my addiction, I'll relapse.
Welcome, champ.
How you doing?
You come out in the classic, the champ is here. Ali, you got the, I'll give you a little there. We are socially distanced, and our protocols allow for the masks being off up here on stage. So you got the iconic, the champ is here chant. You got the iconic old school Mickey Mouse sweatshirt there, and you're looking to become an icon
Absolutely.
in this sport. Hey, listen, it's been a long time of thinking about this fight, and now you're here. How does it feel? You're up on this stage right now.
I'm blessed, man. That's all I can say. I'm blessed, and hard work pays off. 18 years in, and this is just the beginning. This really just is the beginning. You guys haven't seen anything yet, and I'm just thankful. I'm grateful more than anything, and I give all of this to God first.
And this stage for this unconventional news conference right now here inside the bubble will transform into the ring where you will try to become the undisputed champion of the world. What do you say we bring out your rival as we welcome the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, the 3-division world champion, the current WBO, WBA, and the WBC franchise lightweight champion of the world, Vasily Lomachenko.
4 belts, it means you are the best. You are 1 world champion, not 4 world champions.
Sitting by 45 like I'm Jordan on the floor. Here we go, against the greatest, what they say my name for. Holla at the kid, if you want it, you can get it. Haters swear that I be flexing, I'm just riding around my city, bank account a chain model. Sitting pretty, I just had to let them know, I'm unforgettable.
Vasily, good to see you. Nice always to have these conversations with you on these big fight weeks, as we have done many times in the recent past. Before we get started, I want to congratulate both of you for even being here right now, for making the best possible fight at the best possible time when the sport needs it, when the fans demand it, and with everything everybody has been through this year, to know you're willing to do this. You're giving the fans, you're giving the sport what it wants and what it deserves. Do you guys have a sense of how much this means to everybody in the sport to have the two of you together here in the middle of a pandemic, not on pay-per-view, free on ESPN? Do you get a sense of how much this fight means to everybody, Vasily?
Of course.
You're good, you're mic'd up.
Okay. Of course, it's a very good, a very big fight for people who love boxing, who understand boxing, for fans. And I think it will be a very historical fight.
There's no doubt about that. What about you, Teo, in terms of what you hear when people talk to you about this fight, in terms of just what it means to them?
Man, it's everything and everything. I mean, it's the best fighting the best, and that's what it comes to, you know, all the belts. This is all on the line, and what better way here in Vegas, just like everything else, all in.
Let's talk about all the belts. Here they are, 4 on the line. History being made here. The first 4-belt lightweight championship fight that the sport has ever had. When you look around and you think to yourself, I win this fight, I'm gathering all of this, how much does that matter to you in defining your legacy?
Then I came to professional boxing. I always want to be undisputed world champion, and I always want hold 4 belts. I was trying to do this in 126. After that, I go up and I was trying 130, and now I close to my dream, 135.
Is there a part of you that's sitting there saying, how would I put them all on? How would I get them? Post-fight there.
Of course.
Let's take our first media question of the night, and it comes from Dan Canobio at CompuBox TV. And Teofimo, he's asking you, and Dan says, with a win, you'll be the youngest fighter to become a 4-belt champion. What would being the face of the sport for the entire next generation mean to you?
Everything. I mean, that's where the takeover comes in. You know what I mean? Takeover is not just necessarily just a phrase that we throw out there. You know what I mean? This is a part where I'm leading the new generation. You know what I mean? And winning this is that stamp and that mark, you know, to put on for the new era. And that's what it's all about, you know. And I have everything in all to demonstrate that come Saturday night. And I'm very happy about it.
It's been 308 days since you last fought. So many fighters, obviously because of the pandemic, are dealing with long layoffs. Everybody's gone about it differently, and how much time you spend in the gym, what you look like in terms of shaking off rust when you get back out there. Loma, for you, it's been a year and 48 days. This is something that has come up a lot in people discussing this fight, the longest layoff of your career. Does that concern you in any way? Was there a benefit to it of freshening up a bit? How did you handle the layoff?
I'll check. It's Saturday. I don't know. I never stay 1 year outside ring. Now it will be first time, and I don't know.
Year and 48 days. Any impact with the long layoff for you in terms of your training or in terms of how you feel coming into this?
I feel great. You know what I mean? Yeah, for both of us, it's the same thing. We haven't had this long of a layoff. You know what I mean? But even though during the time, the quarantine and everything that was hitting, the pandemic, you know, I was still working out, trying to stay on that as much as possible. You know, I'm a big 135-pounder, so, you know, I always stay in shape. And I'm ready, you know, and I'm more than excited for this fight.
Well, speaking of training camp, you have made the comment that you said you want a challenge that'll bring out the best in you. You
Absolutely.
Put forth a training camp where you feel like you've accomplished that. You're also a fighter who plays upon emotions, who rides the wave of what an arena swell does for you. Your celebrations alone show that. This is not Madison Square Garden. This is not Staples Center in LA where you've been a shining performer. This is an empty conference room in Vegas with just a smattering of folks here. You'll be able to hear everything going on, everything being said from the corners. No fans. You feed off the crowd. How much thought have you given to that?
It goes for both of us. We're primetime fighters. It goes for both of us. He's fought in arenas that's been sold out. I fought in arenas that have been sold out, you know, and we drive off of that. But, you know, this time around, it doesn't change. It does not change. We adapt to it. A true champion can adapt to anything, and that's what we come to. And my job and my thing is to have all these belts wrapped around me after October 17th, after the decision, after the fight, whatever it goes to, and I come out victorious.
Vasily, have you thought about fighting in this kind of an atmosphere without fans? Have you talked to fighters who have done it or trainers who have been through it? What's your thought on fighting in a fanless atmosphere?
You know, I think we need just the ring judges and TV. That's it. And, of course, 4 belts.
Teofimo, you recently said, and I'll quote you here, I'm not looking at Loma, I'm looking through him. Well, now you're sitting here 12 feet away from him, and you're looking at him. You're sitting in what will be a ring with him. When you're in his presence, when you look in his eyes, tell me what you sense. Tell me what you read.
You going to do this right now?
Что он сказал?
I look at it like this, like, when we, after everything, when we do our whole thing, the reason why I say I look through him, you know why? Is because in order to be the best, There's so much more to this than that. All this, I'm going to collect. I work my ass off for it.
Let's continue that conversation in a moment.
All right.
More of Loma and Lopez live from Vegas coming up after this short break. How experience could play a major role in this fight. We're live from Vegas, where it is winner take all with these two champions.